So we started working, we started talking, and we went through the whole business very quickly. And I had to look for some early wins because I want to build clients' confidence in our service. Today I want to talk about profitability. It's one of the three pillars we talk about. We talk about productivity, having more time, profitability, making more money, and passion, enjoying the time and the money and enjoying your business more. So those are the three things. But this week I think I'm going to focus on profitability. I may dwell on some of the others, who knows, right? But and you'll see from this story that there is a bit of passion that comes in at the end. And so let's take this case study today. I want to talk a little bit about this case study. And on this case study, I want to talk about a client I started working with as a coaching client last week. It's like we'll only be a week into it. And we had our discovery call, a deep, we go into the business, we identify where they shave some time for us to work on profitability, because if you're too busy, then we haven't got time to think or talk about how we increase profitability. So he had already come to the meeting ready, said, look, I've got a couple of hours a day I can put in to working on this project with you. Perfect. So we started working, we started talking, and we went through the whole business very quickly. And I had to look for some early wins because I want to build clients' confidence in our service. We're first week in, and I wanted him to feel that he was in the right place. And so one of the things we talk about when we increase profitability is our 1% rule. And here's how it goes, right? In my world, and tell me if you think this makes logical sense. I know you may not have tested this before, but just check if it makes logical sense. In my world, it is easier to increase profits by 20%, 25% if you increase 25 things by 1% rather than increasing one thing by 25%, right? Finding 25% in anything is a stretch, sometimes difficult, especially for mature businesses. Sometimes it is, we'll discover, but often it's a stretch, and it's much easier to go, let's manage our expectations. And if we concentrate on one thing per week to look to improve it by 1% over 50 weeks, that is 51% improvements, which doesn't always work out, but it could increase your profits by 50%, and it could be more. And we'll talk about leverage in this particular case. We started talking about it, and I then started looking, where is the opportunity to get low-hanging fruit, to get the early wins, so that he begins to get confidence in the process, so we get more buy-in. So that's what we started to look at, and I sort of looked at his product line, and there was one product that he started his business with, which he was sort of feeling a bit down about. And I said, look, what's going on with this product? He goes, I'm not making any money. So I said, look, let's look at it. I've got my figures here on my tablet. One second, let me just open this up. So I said, look, tell me the numbers. And he goes, look, I sell it for $650. It cost me $250 to produce all the materials and the packaging and stuff. I then got to get the product to the client, which costs overall maybe another £3, let's say, and that leaves me with a £1 profit. And that, quite a lot of thing for just £1, right? And I go, right, okay. So I said, tell me about your product. And I know it's really tasty. He goes, yeah, we don't make it out of like normal people make it. We make it specially. And he described his process of making this product. And if I tell you, my mouth was watering as he was describing it. I went, look, you're not describing a £6.50 product. You're comparing your £6.50 product with something from a supermarket freezer, which is made from inferior products without the love and care and ingredients that you're putting into yours. Would you agree? He goes, oh, yeah, absolutely. I said, look, if you went to a really decent restaurant, he used to work for a Michelin star restaurant. If you went to a really decent restaurant, how much would they sell this item for? And he said, well, the last time I worked in a Michelin star restaurant, it was over 10 years ago, and it cost, I think maybe even 20 years ago, and it cost £18. Imagine UK, it cost £18 then. And I said, and you're selling the same quality made with love and care by your fair hands for $6.50. 20 years or 10 years later, principles are not there. So I said, look, that can't be right. And he went, well, what do you think? I said, look, it's got to be worth at least 10, right? And maybe more. I think it's probably worth 10 to 12 to 14. But let's not bet our business on it. Let's try it out. Let's put a price tag of 14 on it and put a slash through that and have it as a discount for 10 for now, right? So that people are going, well, okay, that's a £14 product and I'm getting a real bargain because it's now nearly 20% off at 10. So that's what we decided to do. And so on Saturday, we tested it. And I got a text on Saturday, halfway through the day, going, I sold one. Oh, great. No big deal. And then at the end of the day, I just texted him. This was on a Saturday, right? And he's in my case study group, which means that he gets special access to me. I am looking for people who get really good wins to be a case study for me so I can help other businesses achieve the same amazing result, except with sort of less access to me. So if you want to be on the case study group, just shoot me a message and we'll have a chat, okay? So he gets all sorts of extras because of that. So anyway, we texted him and said, how did it go? And he went, we sold out, right? Now that was pretty cool. He didn't have a huge amount because the thing wasn't selling out in the past, but this time he had sold out, which was really fantastic news. So let's look at the numbers. He sold at 10. It still cost him the same to make it and package it, $250. So he was making a margin of $750, not $4. So that margin's gone up significantly. His costs have stayed the same. His cost of delivery hasn't changed. He's doing the same delivery method. So that's 3. And so he's made a £4.50 profit compared to a £1 profit before. That's a £3.50 increase. That's over 300%, right? So he's increased his price by 50% and he's increased his profits by over 300% on that item. Now, I'm not suggesting that is the end of the story, because we've got some evidence, right? And he's got some evidence, and it's now time to go to work. And what we did was we looked at the 6 C's of pricing for profit, and they are confidence, comparison, convincing, chance, and calm. And we'll go through that next. Because a 300% increase in profits on one item isn't a lot, but think of the impact that's made to him and the potential in his business. Now, if you were consulting with him, where would you go next with this, right? If you're saying, look at other prices, right on. Now, he's been doing this for over a year, and it took somebody from the outside. That's what it's always about, is taking somebody from the outside. And so I sort of thought, what are the elements we worked on here? And there seemed to be 5 things, and let's call them the 5 C's for pricing. The first one is confidence. A lot of it is in mindset, right? You had to have the confidence of pricing it at that level. And what I did was I helped him develop the story that made the product a deal, a bargain at £10 in this case, right? He was a UK client. So I've given him the confidence. The second thing was comparison. We've compared it with other places that may sell nearly as good products, and we worked out that was charging 18, 20, 25 pounds in the UK for this product. And so selling it at 10, was easy, right? He goes, of course it's worth 10, right? I know my product is tasty as anything and people love it. They always come back for more. So, there you go. The third thing was he had to convince people, and how he did that comes in positioning. He had to position himself correctly. He had to tell people the story of the production of this thing, which gave in their minds a higher value. It wasn't just chuck a load of ingredients in and see what happens. It was prepared with love and care. So that is another element that went really well for him. So that's the third C, is convincing. The fourth C was take a chance, right? Now, as I said, I don't bet the business on it. I'm always about testing small. So taking the chance was, it could have bombed, right? And he would have found out in one day in one marketplace that it wasn't the right price for that product. But yet, fortunately, he found he was going in the right direction. It may not be the top price yet, but he was going in the right direction, and he sold out in the space of the time he had for that day on this product at a 50% increase in price, which I've already said is over 300% increase in profits. That's the beauty of price. Often you just need to change the words, and all he did was change the words. We didn't adjust the packaging and stuff, put it in gold packaging. No. It was normal packaging, but taken with a different view, a different story. And the fifth thing was keeping the thing, being calm with it. By saying how we did that was offered him the opportunity to do this, but he didn't need it, and he didn't use it because he didn't need it. And that was calm. The fifth C is calm. And how do you keep calm in the process where you're charging a premium price for your premium product? I don't mean charge it. This is not for people who are just putting rubbish out there. I'm not talking about, putting rubbish out and charging a premium price. That is a recipe for disaster, both for your customers and yourself and your business. He was putting a premium product out at the premium price. And what I said is, because you and I are both certain about the quality of this product, you could offer a guarantee. You can go, look, take it home, right? If you don't like it, send me an email and go, it wasn't the quality I was expecting, and I will give you every penny of your money back, no questions asked. And that was a guarantee, keeping calm with a guarantee. So it keeps the whole conversation. Go, look, if you don't like it, I'll give you every penny back. And that is like a really calming measure. It's a bit like what we use in our guarantees for our coaching and business consulting services, because it keeps everyone calm about the price. And people go, is that the... Go, look, if it doesn't make you the money I think it will, then I want you to have the money back. And if it does, then I think you'll be happy to tell a great story about my services, hire me for more, and continue using our services and recommend me to loads of others. Win-win-win, right? So those are my 5 C's. I don't know what you think. Hopefully you enjoyed them. Hopefully you got something out of them. I look forward to hearing your feedback. Just put in the post, tell me what you think. And we talk about these profitability as one of the links to getting a business that loves you back, a business that you love to be in. And, I get the sense, I'm going to talk to him tomorrow, find out. I get the sense that he enjoyed his business a little bit more, knowing that he made more profit from the same product that day. What do you think? How would that feel for you? You tell me. All right, this is Gordon wishing you well. I'll speak to you in the morning. Well, speak to you tomorrow on my next live. Take care. All the best. Goodbye.